Blow. Now, this is season 9, man, and as you know, man, at every season, man, I gotta have somebody from Detroit, man, because as you all know, Detroit gave me my first shot, man. So, in my way of giving back to Detroit, man, I'm always gonna cover somebody from Detroit, the very first episode of the season. But this gentleman right here, man, whoo, this is one hell of a first guest right here, man. I remember finding this gentleman in 2005. Hearing his production, I was like, God damn, yo, who produced this? I remember buying Routine to Indie Culture for the first time, and I was hooked after that. I remember buying The Great Migration, finding the Wisemen on the sound. Detroit, that's my all-time favorite Wisemen song for everybody who knows me. This man produced for my top 10, wearing the shirt, I love it. Man, without further introduction, man, I got the one and only man from the Wu Elements, Bronze Nazareth.
What up, man? Good to be here, Lo. I appreciate you taking time out, you know what I'm saying, and getting with me, and everybody who's listening, appreciate y'all as well. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you, Bronze, man. We try to get this in for a while, but as everyone says, timing is everything.
Absolutely.
So, for you growing up in Grand Rapids, man, I understand that some call it G-Rap. Now, I never heard that term until recently. I was like, G-Rap, damn, yo, how come I didn't ask that to Willie the Kid? So, when was the first time you ever heard the term G-Rap growing up in Grand Rapids?
Shoot, man, I can't even probably put my finger on it the first time. It's always been just like, yo, where you from? G-Rap or whatever. Or, cause sometimes we call it Grand Raggedy, you know what I mean? And of course, the infamous, the name really pretty much brought along by my brother Lotta Dark, man, Gun Rule, whatever they call it. But yeah, I heard G-Rap, man, probably when I first heard of Cool G-Rap, man, back in the early days and shit. So it's been G-Rap for as long as I can remember, man, especially for us hip hop kids that's in that the urban mindset, you know what I mean?
And I understand too that you started off as a rhymer and then that your friend D the Rebel introduced you to the ASR 10. So I was wondering, before D the Rebel introduced you to the ASR 10, what made you fall in love with hip hop?
It was rhyming, bro. I've said this before. I bumped into the Fat Boys Are Back album at an early age, and that caught my ear. I was like, what is this, man? It's, they rhyming. I love it. It's kind of poetic. They beatboxing, so that shit caught me right there. And then, I had a couple cousins who would put me on to stuff like, they put me on to Sugar Hill Gang, which was before my time, but they had the record, and when it came out, they was going crazy off the rap stuff. So they kind of threw me back, showed me the history. Shout out to Kelly and Jeff West, and they put me on the rap, and from there it was like boom, boom, De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising, and I don't know, the sound captivated me, but more so the words, how they were putting them together. You know what I mean? So that's what caused me to be rhyming first and writing.
Man, you actually got to see the beginning stages of hip hop, like to say, man, because man, I would give anything to go back and relive the '86 to '88 days, because that's when music had to be original. Nobody was really biting off each other back then, and you actually had to be good.
Yeah, because it was like a new science, a new art. So it was like with any art or science, the beginning stages is always infantile. You know what I'm saying? It's just like anything else that evolves into something bigger. So yeah, to see that shit it was amazing, because I kind of came along with it. Like first, you start writing. We had me and my other cousins, and my brother Kevlaar. We had a group called the Four Seasons way back, and we each had a little MC name that went with the season. But so back then, I was listening to Big Daddy and Biz Markie. So after first hearing the Fat Boys, now you got Big Daddy Kane, and he's doing the triple words, double entendres, jokes. He dancing, you know what I'm saying? That became like, so it came from starting with these words, a little beatboxing, the elementary starter rap over to now Big Daddy Kane and the God MC are up here, scientifically putting words together, poetically putting them. So I kind of rose with that, you know what I'm saying? I felt like, yeah, I love this hip hop. But as it evolved, it's like I just fell deeper into the trance. You know what I'm saying? Because it got iller and iller. You know.
And then like even like during the '90s, like that's when it really like I like to call that the golden era. But everyone like the true golden era is the '80s. But like for most people, the '90s is. So you went before we get into how you got into producing. You went by Half Entity. Now, did you go by Half Entity when D the Rebel introduced you to the ASR 10?
Yeah, that was me. That was Half Entity back then. Because me and my brother started out in a group. It was me, my brother. He was 50-50. I was Half Entity.
Okay.
Because my pops is black, my mom's is white, so it's mixed dudes. We came up with the L names or whatever. So, and then of course we had June Mega was in the group. He was G Rock. And so we also had Apollo Brown was in the group as well.
Oh, wow.
Back then he had a few names, man, but he was Chief. Really when we all was really mixing it up, his name was Chief. But so that was the early stages, man. The first group, the unknown.
Wow, that's a great, and you can see like the growth of it. Where Paulie had early Apollo Brown. Wow. Woo. Yeah. So, can you remember like the day? Because when I hear your production, it's like it brings me back to '94. Like when I actually heard Gravitas, I'm like, wow, like these beats sound like they should have been from '96 to '94, and that's what I like about your sound because you know the sound of the Wu. Like you don't try to say, I'm gonna mix it up and put some hi hats in this. No, you keep it to the traditional sound, and that's what I always expect about your career. So. When you're a producer, can you remember the day that D the Rebel actually put you onto the ASR 10? Because if he didn't, man, I don't think we would got some of this crazy music we got.
Yeah, I can, bro. I mean, I remember I had found this computer program. It was called Voyextra. And I used to, I was just figuring shit out. I was writing raps, and I wanted my own beats. And so I'm like, how can I get sounds? I ain't had no bread to get no music beat machines and all that. So I'm just trying to figure out how can I get these sounds into rhythm so I can make my own. How can I make my own beats? And so I was messing with this program, and I ended up figuring it out, bro. I would take a bass drum from somewhere, which I later found out was sampling. I take a bass drum from somewhere, a kick from over here, dig into Daz records and CDs, and get songs off of there and take little pieces. And at that point, we was trying to find out, okay, me and Kev and June was trying to find out where the fuck can we record at now. We got to find somewhere to record. But, in the city dudes, we was looking at studio prices
yeah.
There's no money to get it. Nobody had money to be paying $75 an hour, $100 an hour.
Damn.
The rates that was hitting back then. So, I don't know. I figured out this computer program. I was on Word, how you can copy a word and paste them up. It was the same shit. You could copy a kick and paste it over here. Copy this piano and paste it on top of that. So I just started doing that and boom, I got a beat. Fuck it. Now we need to find out how to record. And that's when, we was chopping it up. I had a homeboy from Saginaw, Michigan named Calvin, and he knew D the Rebel. He told them he got some homeboys that rhyme dope. So we had a house party over there. And me and Kev rocked the fuck out of the party. he threw on some instrumentals, and me and Kev rocked the shit out the party. And from that point on, I started talking to D. He was just like my mentor back then. And Rab was just like, yo, let me show you this machine or whatever. So how are you making beats? And I told him, and he was like, what the fuck? And so he's like, let me show you this ASR 10. And so he showed me how to really do it. The real art of sampling. Chopping shit up, at that time you can only use just a few seconds or whatever, what memory he had, but he showed me chopping shit up, and it was like a crack addiction from that point on for me, man.
And a good addiction is better than crack.
Flat out, man. It was just I couldn't stop, man.
Wow,
I'm coming up. I taught Kev. I started teaching Kev how to do it. I taught people in my circle how. Now we all making some hot beats. You know what I mean? So. It was quite the experience, and D the Rebel set it all off, man. I remember that day clear, though, after the house party.
I remember the first time ever hearing Kevlaar 7 on the track Detroit off your Great Migration album. And I remember I was like, wow, these guys need to come out with an album, man. And then, I think it was a year after the Wisemen Approaching album came out. I was like, ooh, yeah, that album is I was listening to that
Yeah.
album last night, and I was like, wow, like this album came out in 2007, and it sounds like it came out in 2020. Like this is like,
Yeah.
it's crazy
Yeah.
how your music can actually last throughout time. So when we're getting into Kevlaar 7, I was wondering now too, when you and Kevlaar 7 were both getting into rap, coming in when he was coming into Kevlaar 7 and you're becoming Bronze Nazareth, when did that happen? Like did he introduce you to the 18th Bronze Man movie?
No, it was actually me and Kev did this album called The Unknown. It was like 97, 98.
Okay.
And so we did this shit out, and we were just selling it on the internet. I got this little website made up for me
In 97? Wow.
Yeah, we was on that shit early. We was straight flat out mailing them out. I was mailing them out. I was at Michigan State University. So my girl, who's my wife now, she used to help me package them up, mail them out. Kev would come up, visit, we'll package and mail out all weekend and shit. So we was banging that shit out early, and through my website, somehow my shit caught the ear of Cilvaringz, who was the first European guy that RZA signed. And so, Cilvaringz started telling me about himself. He signed with RZA, this, that, and the other. And, I started sending him some beats. And it just so happened that Wu Tang was like my favorite shit. I didn't like go looking for Ringz. He found me, and Wu Tang was my favorite shit. So I was just like, wow, for real? He worked with RZA? And so one day after, I was sending Cilvaringz beats for months. He's working on his album, trying to get his deal together with RZA. And one day Ringz just hit me, and he was like, bro, I got to get you to RZA. And so I was like, wow, shit, whatever. What we got to do? And so it was him who got my beats basically into RZA's ears. You know what I'm saying? So that was Cilvaringz, man. That was Cilvaringz. I give him great credit for that, man.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Because we always remember like who gave us our first shot, like for our dreams and stuff like that. So like I always like to hear like things like that too. So I understand when you and Kev went to go meet RZA at the 36 Chambers, you went there like 3 other times and like nothing happened. Like I can only imagine like you can like what the hell's going on here?
I mean, it was very frustrating, but you know what? I to be honest, I really wasn't that mad because I knew Ringz was on the inside. And he was really looking out like a genuine dude. Yeah. And he would tell me like, yo, RZA gonna be in New York these dates. If you can get there, go up there and I'll try to get something popping for you. And so yeah, the first 3 times, nothing, bro. And the last time was the worst. The last of the 3 times was the worst because I knew he was gonna be there like for the weekend, and I had to take the Greyhound out. And that shit was like, it was like 18 hours on the Greyhound. And so I left like Friday morning. I didn't get there till like Saturday morning.
Oh, wow.
So I hit New York. I hit 36 Chambers. Nothing. No meeting happens. Nothing. And if I don't jump on the bus and get back by Monday, I got to go to work. I'm in school and shit. So I had to get back by Monday. I got back, but that shit was grueling, bro, especially to go there and nothing happened.
Yeah.
But yeah. Then the 4th time, it definitely, I got up in 36 Chambers, and the rest is history. You know what I mean?
So before we get into that now too, for the project that Cilvaringz heard online now too, it was called The Unknown. Is that available for the people to hear, or is that still like kind of like in the archives?
No, it's up there, bro. Like I think it was 07, a label after Great Migration came out.
Oh, that's the album.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
After those 2 came out, after those 2 albums came out, then a label came together and they wanted to buy the rights to Unknown and put that out. So they took the old album and they put that out. I think it was 07.
Wow. And this was recorded in 97. Wow.
So yeah, we did that shit. I mean, a lot of the stuff was recorded like 93, 94, 95.
Oh, wow. And that's like the
by the end,
Wu era.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So, finally a label in 07 was like, yo, we'll give you a check. Y'all want to put this out? And Kevin was like, hell yeah. Earn that.
So, like, that's really inspiring to hear. Like, even like in 94, when you first heard the Wu, you said to yourself, I'm going to do a song with them. Like, and then like years later, like, you're a part of the Wu elements. So when you and Kevlaar went to 36 Chambers for the 4th time, you see Ninth Prince, shout to Ninth Prince. Man, he talked to you, brought you up there, and then RZA, Jezza, I forget who else showed up in the room, but they're all handling business. Master Killer. They're all handling business, you know, they're in the studio reviewing tracks. Now, when you said that they were reviewing tracks, I was like, oh, I'm going to ask about that. So, you got to hear some of this early Wu tracks when you were in this hotel room.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So this was like Wu forever, they were like reviewing.
Yeah, it was that era, and it was also like mad groups was going in and out of there. So I was hearing some Sunz Of Man stuff. You know what? Like, the crazy thing is, a lot of the stuff that I've heard in there, I've never heard again.
Really?
It was like, yeah, so it was a lot of stuff that I heard that was the wildest. But I'll tell you what the wildest was, though. I used to go to Steubenville. Me and Kev used to jump in the old El Camino and shoot down to Steubenville. It was like 4 hours. And we're fucking around with Fourth and Killa Army in the studio all weekend. Or some of the guys was there. Not everybody was there, but it was always Fourth, so he was kind of a mentor to me early as well. So, you know, we'll go down there, we'll kick it with Fourth. We used to sleep at his baby mama crib, and you know, when he was there, he'd be like, y'all could crash right here. And so, but bro, I probably heard hundreds of beats in there that I never heard publicly that was fire, bro.
Wow.
Fire. That's why I'll say to this day, like, Fourth is one of the illest of all time, you know. So that's a little nut right there. I've heard some crazy Fourth joints, and I definitely heard some crazy RZA joints that I never even heard out in public, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I can only imagine the archives that they go back.
It's a blessing.
So when you're in the when you're like realizing that you're talking to RZA, you got your 5 minutes with him now, like, what happens after that? Because, like, I understand this was 2000, and then your solo album didn't come out to 2006. So, like, what happened between that time? And then, like, when did you produce on the Birth? Because you produced that 1,000 Days to God, and I play that almost every morning.
Yeah, that was so when I got signed, like 01, 02, I think it was. You know, we got our business together, and you know, I shot out, went home. We stayed in touch. RZA always contact me or whatever. He'll hit me up, tell me, yo, come out, or send something for this, or send something for this. But nothing ever really happened until he called me one time and said he was doing his new album, Birth of a Prince, and he said, why don't you come out to New York? I was like, bet, let's go. So I went to New York, and I stayed in New York for 3 months. I stayed at RZA's apartment. He had just this apartment that he would house artists or assistants or whatever at. So I stayed at his apartment for that summer, man. That shit was crazy. So that's when I pretty much saw everything, saw how the business would roll, saw how studio flow is, and out of them 3 months, we did the Day to God is 1,000 Years and the Birth. So that's when it really cracked off. You know, he put me on, he threw it out there, and then from that point, dudes was hearing it, and that's when Dreddy Kruger hit me up to do Wu Tang meets the indie culture, and that shit was key because not only was I able to grab some of the Wu Tang fans with that, I'm grabbing some of the fans that's the R.I.P. Sean Price, R.I.P. MF Doom, all the cats that was on that album was able to share their fans with me, and that was a blessing as well to be able to be in position and jump on that album. And I think that's the thing that really kind of cemented me as far as of course the Wu fan base fuck with me, and that's the grain, but that kind of spread me a little bit outside of the Wu and gave me my own standing, you know what I'm saying? So that was dope.
Man, I can only imagine like you getting that call because if you're a Wu Tang fan, we all know Dreddy Kruger. So I can only imagine like you getting that call. It's like, word, really? Like meet the indie culture? Like did you like when he gave you the concept, like did you have to like say, damn, I don't know, and you're like, let's do it?
No, I'm 100. I'm like, yo, let's go. Somebody want me to produce? Y'all got some bread? Let's go. So I flew out to New York. And me and Dreddy, we grinded it out in the studio for weeks, bro. Weeks, man. And
I can imagine.
Yeah, we baked that shit up. Most of the cast that came in and did the tracks, I was there, watching it in live action. Oh, you know what I mean?
Okay.
That was that was a good milestone for my shit, man. That's really probably responsible for me having a nice underground cult following on my own, you know. So
Now during that time now too, R.I.P. man, can't believe this guy died on Halloween, and we found out on like New Year's Eve, man. MF Doom, man, what a tragedy losing that man.
One of my favorites, man. He had the most colorful rhymes, bro, and it's a real loss for the community, man. As far as even just creative brilliance, man. I pray that his family finds strength and peace, you know.
Because it's documented, like your relations with Doom, man. It's like he was on the album that you almost produced. Like RZA produced the track though, but like he's on like you produced a majority of that album. So have you ever met Doom randomly? Like has he ever like it's like Doom?
No, I've not met Doom, man. Unfortunately, no, I did not. But definitely a brilliant artist, and I definitely met him because I know him through his lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
indeed.
And him and Kevlaar though, Kevlaar definitely met him though.
Kevlaar?
Oh yeah, they're up there together chilling, probably wearing Doom's mask.
Hey, Kevlaar is making beats, and they're going back and forth, bro. Absolutely, man.
And hip hop heaven. So when you're coming together with after Wu Tang meets the indie culture, like this album, like I don't think people expected it to do what it did, because like I remember like when this album dropped in high school, everybody was talking about it. This was like the latest like Get Rich or Die Trying. Like everybody's like, yo, did you hear this? Wu Tang meets the indie culture, and then everyone's like was on the shit. They're like, yo, Riz is not produce one track. This guy Brown's Nazareth is keeping the roots sound. We gotta pay attention to him. So finding you in high school is very pinnacle because it made me do my research on the Wu, because I only knew like the main members at the time. So when I find out meets the indie culture, I'm like, oh, so there's Ninth Prince, there's Killer Army, and then when you go into the Great Migration, that's when I started to find like Timbo Kin and like Prodigal Son. I'm like, wow, like this is all in the family. So that's what I like to credit you with now too, is actually making me do my research and like digging, like getting into that Wu rabbit hole. Because once you hear that Wu rabbit hole, man, you go like for a good week.
That's it, bro. It's many talented people, you know, Don P, Prodigal, you know, dude you mentioned, you know, Ninth Prince, like all them dudes accepted me with open arms as well too. So it was like talent respects talent. So, you know, to be a part of that family is, you know, that's something, man. And then to be able to get, like I say, grab another side of the indie crowd with it.
Yeah.
You know your hip hop is coming full circle, you know what I mean?
So after the success of Meets the Indie Culture, Baby Grand obviously saw the potential. They're like, yo, we wanna give you all a deal with this Great Migration. But they also gave the Wisemen a deal too. That's what I liked about that. It's like, man, you gotta bring the Wisemen with you too. So recording the Great Migration, I love that album by you because it's your debut album, and you being from Detroit, going to New York to record this album, like the title, The Great Migration, it fits so perfectly. I think that's like your best work besides School of the Blind Man. I can't pick between the two, but like it's up there.
That's love, man. That's love. Yeah, that's basically what it was, because it was like I called it The Great Migration because I had come so far from, like in middle school, a homeboy Buddha of mine had his pops he played guitar, and he had this little beat machine, but it didn't record, it didn't do nothing. So I was setting shit up with stereos together and playing the beat, boom, 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 playing this shit manually the whole time, like that thirsty to make beats. So coming from there all the way up to being able to work it and making it a career, like, you know what I'm saying? It's that's just blessing, bro, and it's destiny, you know what I'm saying?
I like that. It's destiny. I like that.
Word up. Appreciate it.
See, like you fulfilling your destiny, though, it's very powerful that somebody actually finds the meaning in life, like the true meaning, the purpose in life, and what they mean to do. And with you, it's music, and it definitely shows. So when you recorded The Great Migration, and after that came out, what was like the Wisemen album like talks like coming together, and like how did the Wisemen come up with that name?
I mean, that was basically me and Kev, bro. Like we always had I don't know, I guess maybe since back we started with our cousins, we always had this, we wanted to have a ill group or whatever. So we had this idea when we moved to Detroit, me and Kev and Apollo. So shot over to Detroit, and we started working. I'm doing my album, and then we started meeting people. And so like I met Philly. I met Philly at a weed spot. You know what I mean? So I met Philly at a weed spot. All the cats was telling me he was dope rhyming or whatever. Because I used to go to dope spots, and I hand out my card, bro, selling beats.
Okay.
And, since everybody was a rapper and shit, I was like, if I go to a weed spot, I hand out my card, sell some beats, whatever. So I guess Philly got my card, and then everybody was telling him to go rap for me. And so one day he sat in my car, he rapped for me, and I threw on a bunch of instrumentals, and he just was going. And I was like, wow, he's fire, voice dope. I think he could fit. You know what I mean? So it was just like we found everybody like that. Salute. I met Salute. We was working. We was doing social work. I met Salute as a social worker, and one time we was locked in the office, and he was on the phone talking about some rap stuff with this lady, and he got off. I was like, yo, so you rap? And he was like, yeah, I do a little bit of rap or whatever, but he wasn't really that deep into it. So he had a little freestyle. I was like, yo, he kind of nice. So I pulled him into it, and I'm like, yo, we just chopping it all up, and he gonna be fire. So that's how Salute came into it. Then Kev, of course, was already there. He had he met Illah, who was his then girlfriend, because his girlfriend's sister was dating Illah. So Kev met him. Somehow they got on. I think one of the girls was like, yo, he rhymed. Yo, you should listen. And so that's how they met. He pulled Illah in. And June been there since the unknown, so he was just right there already as well. So that's how it all came together. And as far as like the first album, it was just me, Kev, Philly, and Salute, because basically that's what was really available at that time. Or whatever. June was in another city. Illah hadn't really gotten too deep into it before his car accident. Like we did like one joint together, and that night he got into the car accident. Paralyzed waist down.
Oh damn.
And so, but yeah, so that's how all the pieces of that group came together, bro.
See, and it's like
that's why I didn't show up to the second album as well as June. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, because I was curious about that too. Because I noticed the first one only had the 4 members on it.
Yeah, that was kind of a contested decision in the group.
Okay.
A few people didn't want to do it, but it was like, yo, everybody had been there since the jump, and more so even with me, it was like there was certain roles I needed help with, and that wasn't being covered by certain dudes in the group already. So like when June came through, like June always do, he always got me my backups on stage. You know what I mean? And he always know the words. Like he really gets into the music. He knows his shit. So that's why you see June on the road with me. So. Like I said, so that was a little bit of contention about that point from that, but that's what it was, man. That's what we did,
Yeah, like that Wisemen Approaching album, like, ooh, like the song, like it's like I love how like something from 2007 can last to 2020 and still sound like free refreshing, like as the day that it was recorded. So when recording this album, like I like to put it up there with like The Last Shall Be Shall. Or like Silent Weapons. It's like it's up there with those Wu group albums. So like with you actually like being a part of that now too, like did you expect the reaction like of the Wisemen album when it released, or you didn't feel the reaction until like a couple of years later?
No, I did expect it, bro, because I like I said, indie culture was a nice success independently. And then Great Migration was as well, bro. It was like, it sold very well as far as just straight independence, you know what I'm saying, as far as Baby Grand or whatever. So they told me that, I remember one day, Chuck called me from Baby Grand and was like, yo, I mean, it's doing so well. I mean, people, artists don't just do this, like pop out and sell like this. So, I was pleased and shit. That was a great time. So when Wisemen Approaching came out, hell yeah, I expected that shit to do well. I expected great reviews. I know that we was putting our real heart into it. I know everything we were saying was authentic. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I knew it was gonna get a great reaction. I thought it'd sell better. I thought it would get a bigger reaction. You know what I mean? So, but it got a lovely critical acclaim and all that.
Yes.
So I was very happy with it, man. You know what I mean?
Because if any Wu fan is out there, you're gonna find this album regardless or not. Because like once you go through that Wu rabbit hole, you're gonna almost search everything. I remember looking up GP Wu when like, after like the indie culture, man. I'm like, there's more people in Wu Tang. I'm like GP Wu Syndicate. Yo, shout out to Wu Syndicate, man. Those guys were one of my first interviews.
Yo, them guys are one of my favorite albums, man. Was their first joint, man.
Yeah. That ooh.
Thug War. Oh man, crazy album, man.
Have you ever
I had to repeat when I was going to school. Word up.
Have you ever
I gotta get with the dudes.
Oh, you haven't worked with Joe Mafia or Malalinsky. Okay.
No, you know what? I got a homeboy who's been reaching out to get me to do something with him, and I just been too busy to really get in touch. And then I lost the contact, but I'm gonna definitely get with Wu Syndicate, man. I think they need a nice sound bed to throw them bars on again, man. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Dope.
So like even like with the Wisemen approach and that, like, could you guys release 3 albums altogether if I have my facts right?
I mean, basically, one of them was kind of like earlier songs that didn't make the first album in a conglomerate, but our main albums was Wisemen Approaching and then Children of a Lesser God.
Okay. Now, out of those 2, which one did you like the most? Or it's kind of hard to choose? I
definitely like Wisemen Approaching more.
Okay.
I love Children of a Lesser God, but I remember the release got all messed up. I think Amazon released it like 2 weeks before it's supposed to come out, and it fucked shit all up. But we got a little. I think we got just a little loose on that album, and I felt like I should have been a little more tight about it afterwards. You know what I mean? I should have been more of a iron fisted on it. Like, now let's use this beat instead, type of shit. But I wanted to make sure that everybody had their voice and everybody had their input or whatever. But I mean, it's still a dope album. Don't get me wrong, but definitely can't fuck with Wiseman Approaching, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Now, shout out to my guy Elliot Wilson. Tidal doesn't have the credits for that album, so I was curious that did Kevlaar produce any of the beats on that?
Yeah, on Children of a Lesser, he did. He did quite a few on there, man. I have to look at the list, but I know he did at least 4 or 5 joints on there, man. Okay. It's just so many beats that ran through and credits in my head. I can't.
Remember. That's understandable.
Until I look at the shit, but yeah. Kevin put forth a lot more on there than he did on Wiseman Approaching.
He killed Wiseman Approach. Woo! With the lyrics. I don't know what he produced, but with the lyrics, woo, goddamn.
Yeah, Kev was a beast on both sides, man.
Yeah.
Miss that brother.
Even his solo albums too, man. Man, I remember there's a track called My Brother, and wow, that's one of my favorite tracks right there.
Yeah, that's tough to listen to for me right now. Some of his joints is hard to listen to, man. Make me emotional, but oh man, he's got some really golden music that got to continue to be heard. You know what I'm saying? So
is he your older brother?
Yeah, he was my older brother. He got 2 years older than me.
I know the feeling of losing like your older brother. So I know the feeling.
Man. Salute to you as well, bro. So you running through that,
Yeah. So when I heard that song, it was like, it really means a lot.
Yeah. Brother, that's a classic, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Classic.
Well, at least he's always with you, and like he left music behind, and like that's what I love. Like even though they may not be here with us, he left his music with us, and that's always gonna live.
And you know what? That was like kind of our point. Like when you say how you can pick up Wiseman Approaching today and throw it on and it still sounds current. Like that was our point. Like me and Kev wanted to make timeless music. And so that's what we did, man. I feel like he left his legacy. Because that's what we talked about the shit. When we were here, like, yo, doing this music, bro, we gonna live forever, bro. We'll laugh about it, we'll talk shit, but it's home now that, yo, when I need to hear Kev, when I need to experience him, when I need to listen to his rhymes or just hear his musical vibe. Like people don't know he left like 300 beats as well, and I'm halfway through the album just over his beats, but it's like I can channel him through this music. Music is very powerful, man, very powerful. So I can feel Kev, bro.
Yeah,
indeed.
Like even you like taking up part of his beats, and like because you don't have to do that, but you channel him through that, and like that's so rare to find these days.
Yeah, bro. I mean, my people tell you, I'm very emotionally in tune with music. Like, you know, music can fuck me up. Music can turn my mood for the whole day. Music can lift me up. You know, it's like I'm like a puppet. Like if I'm feeling fucked up and you throw on some fucked up music, I'm gonna go deeper in thought. If you throw on something that lifts my spirits, you gonna pull me out of it a little bit. I'm very in tune with music emotionally and the connection it creates, you know, between mind, body, and spirit. You know what I'm saying?
It's the most, especially hip hop. It's the most universal language because, like, it can bring everybody together, no matter what race, no matter what your background is. It can bring everybody together.
I agree, bro. Yes, powerful.
It is
very powerful.
Yeah. So, what I like about your career now too, like you have full albums by Canibus, Kxng Crooked. Now, I understand that you always wanted to do an album with Rockness Monster.
Yeah, man. Rock, man. That's my guy, man.
Man, out the Skelter.
We dipped and dabbed to talk about it, man. I don't know if it's going down or not, but I think his voice would. His voice. It should have flowed on my joints, man. But we'll see, man. You never know, man.
And I found this good brother when I was doing research on the Almighty Dreadnoughts when I was covering them. You do a lot of work with Lord Josiah.
Yeah, bro, man. That's Black Day, Wisemen all day, bro.
Yes. So, and you guys actually got an album coming out.
Yeah, we kind of got like duo album coming out because right now we're on the tail end of him rhyming over my shit, a whole album, and then I'm about to start writing to a whole album over his beats. So we about to do the tango on the music world. So we about to murder it this year. I promise you. We're coming with a lot out of Black Day, and that just me and Josiah are cooking deeply, bro. That's my guy.
I figured 2021.
Very talented with them beats, boy. Woo!
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot he produces too. Yeah, I forgot it.
Yeah, crazy.
So when you're working with an artist like a Lord Josiah or like a Canibus, like what makes you want to work with an artist like that? Like do you have to be a fan, or it's like, damn, yo, I heard this one song by you that I really want to work with you?
No, I gotta be a fan, bro. I don't know, like my beats are kind of precious to me, so like, you know, and this happens to every producer. Somebody get on your beat and they'll kind of fuck your beat up. I'm not even, like, everybody knows this is true, and like when that happens to me, it's like, you know, I cringe and it's like, damn, I don't, you know. So for me, it's more focused on first if they're cool or whatever, obviously. I don't like, you know, be a cool dude or whatever, be cool. You know, I don't like people that are all erratic and shit like that. Let's just be cool. Let's make some fire, bro. You know what I mean? And so, you know, as long as we can vibe good, and then like, I always can, if I can hear you on my shit. That's how I that's kind of how I run through it and judge it. Like, yo, I would love to hear such and such on my shit. I would love it. It could be even like somebody out the box, but I know if I could get them on my shit, it's like I want to bring you into my world. No matter how you doing your thing, you're dope, and I'm dope. So come into my world for a minute, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could do, like my kids love Trippie Redd. You know, he do a lot of singing and all that. That's cool, but he got some rap songs that's fire. Put him on one of my joints, I know it escaped. You know, so I just kind of go by, damn, that'll sound nice on such and such and such and such, or yo, his voice is dope. If he got on some East Coast type of joints like mine, it'd be crazy, you know? That's just kind of how I process it, you know what I mean? Right. If I'm not feeling you, I really have a hard time, you know, working it, you know what I mean? Wow. So, like I said, I'm in touch. I'm in touch with the music, and I want it to be at a 10, not a 6 or a 7, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So,
give me 10 out of 10, you know what I mean? Let's make greatness.
Even when you like study music now too, because you can't just like throw it on. It's like, oh yeah, I know everything. Like you actually have to study it sometimes now too. Like that's what I love about like Wu Tang's music. Like you catch things like you didn't catch from the first. So it's like, oh wow, I must have missed that. So with you working with fans of the artist now too, man, you got a full album of Canibus, like this is the Four Horsemen Canibus right here. Now, um, I can only imagine how Canibus is to work with, right? Because I remember the first time I heard Canibus was in that 2000 BC, and I ain't gonna front. He used to scare the shit out of me when I was a teenager. I'm like, this guy would kill me if I would go near him. So, like, as the years go on, I got to learn more about Canibus and, like, you know, his trials and tribulations in the industry. So with you working with him, did you have to like? Did you bring? Because it sounded like he was really inspired, like working with you. Like I never heard him like that inspired in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Me and Canibus, we get along great, bro. We always, you know, bouncing ideas. I mean, we kicked it so many times in person or whatever, in studio. A lot of times in Indiana.
Okay.
So best always me and him always just vibe cool, bro. And I've always respected him as a high level lyricist. You know, ever since the fucking freestyles back in the day, I've always respected his lyricism. So even if I didn't, you know, even if I wasn't a big fan of some of the songs he put out since, I always listened to Canibus. I always liked a bunch of joints on his albums, and I just thought like, yo, if he got on a bunch of my joints, that should be right. So that's what we did, bro. Like, you know, 80 brought it together, and it was just, you know, talent respects talent. Let's make greatness and shit. So, but I do think that I think certain beats bring things out of MCs. You know what I'm saying? So, being an MC myself, I know that. Like, you get a different feel from a certain sound, and somebody who really knows how to put it together and tap into them emotions. And so that's how I know, you know, certain dudes will scale my shit, or you know, it wouldn't really vibe. You know.
Wow.
This skating, you know.
So like around this time now too, Canibus had that battle with Dizaster. Did you guys record that album before or after?
That was after.
Wow, he came back like that after. Wow.
Yeah, it was after that because we had a song on there with Dizaster on there, you know.
Oh,
so we played off of that, you know. Oh, they already had the battle. Let's bring it back home, and you know that was genius to have him and Dizaster going back and forth on the bronze track. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I forgot about because I always thought that sparked the battle because I never wondered like why are these two battling.
Yep, it was in reverse. Yep.
Yeah.
He came back that shit. You know what I mean? And Dizaster, you know. Dope MC came and shot his cannon on the track as well. So the shit was classic, and it was like bringing everything back around full circle, man. You know.
And just to know that you're a part of that too. Wow, I'm actually gonna go bang that after. And like actually, it's like you did this after.
They was going on that bitch too. It bangs, man. Definitely.
So even with your like your music, like I understand like. How did Gravitas come about with Kxng Crooked? Because man, that's soul drenched, man. I love shout out to DJ Lowe's for the cuts, but that's soul drenched, man. I really felt that. So like, did you connect through M80? Because I understand like he does a lot of work with Crook.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I met Crook was doing a show in Detroit, and I hit 80 like, yo, put me on the list or whatever. I want to go meet Crook. Because, you know, I'm always big time Slaughterhouse fan.
Yes, sir.
Big time Crooked Eye fan. Lyricist, you know what I mean, from back Death Row, whatever, you know. So I went to the show, met Crook. Crook was cool as hell, you know. I'm one of them guys like when I meet rappers or whatever, I don't be what's up, man? I'm a laid back person, so when I go, I'm like, what's up, bro? How you, man? You cool? I'm cool, bro. You know, I give dudes their respect. Yo, I love your shit. Shit was fire, but I don't be in dudes' faces all night. I'm just not that type of dude.
Yo, I'm bro, whatever.
It's the same, bro. So, I'm cool, bro. I fall back. I enjoy the show or whatever. And boom. So, after that, I think Crook was doing the tour. It was like a 7 shows and 7 days tour in the Midwest. And 80 was helping to put it together. So, 80 was like, yo, I know who you get on this joint. You know, boom, boom, boom. So 80 hit me up. They put me on the tour, and then we did that. We did the 7 days. You know, like I'm saying, like Crook was cool as hell. Good vibe. You know what I'm saying? Laid back dude like me. You know what I mean? Fucking classic lyricist. And so As the years went by, I kept listening to him or whatever. And then, one day I was like, bro, I need to do an album with Crook. So I saw Crook was coming to Detroit again at one point, and I hit him up like, yo, bro, peace, see you coming into town, man. If you got a minute, let's link up. I want to holler at you. So we met downtown, the Fishbones, famous Detroit spot, and we kicked it. And I told him, I want to do an album. Want to get something together with you, even if it's just quick EP or whatever. And he was like, yeah, whatever. Let's see what we can cook up. Let's put it together. And that sparked it, bro. And before you knew it, I was flying to LA, and we took a week in the studio and banged it out.
So you were actually in this. Wow, you didn't do the emails. Wow, that's why it came out so good.
I like to get the chemistry.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can, let's get face to face. You know what I'm saying? Better.
So that's what I like when that's when the music really comes out. It's like, yeah, just because you feed off each other's energy. Right.
It's, I don't know. Yeah, it's just it's a level of what is that? What they call it? A healthy competition as far as like he want to bring his A game, I want to bring my A game. And I think that being there in person makes you ramp it up a little bit. Because, they're right here. I'm right here. We're going to do what we're going to do. So, definitely chemistry is in the play. Even though, Crook came through and did the whole album in, 2 days, bro.
Oh, yeah. He posted that on his Twitter. He's like, you did that in 2 days.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know he was really... he was under the weather at the time, but, I found out he was sick. So I was like, wow, I couldn't even tell because he was coming in that bitch. No paper. No pen, bloop, laying that shit, one take, wow, amazing, man. So that was dope to see, man. It was dope to witness. You know what I mean?
Who came up with the name Gravitas?
You know what? I think I came up with that, bro. We was throwing around names, and I think my wife brought me some article on it. They said something about somebody having the Gravitas, and it was to do something great. And so I looked up the word, and it bounced around in my head for a while. And come to the time we started picking, what y'all want to call it? What do we want to call it? We threw a couple names out. And then I said, what about Gravitas? And I sent the definition over, and 80 and Crook was like, yeah, that's dope. Let's do the Gravitas. Yeah. Man. So that's where it came from, man. My wife, she'd kill me if I don't give her credit for it. So.
All right, you got to salute to your wife, man. Salute to your wife for that title.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Word up.
So, what I love about this album now, too, it's we actually have Crook rhyming with real spitters. When I seen Tri-State on this album, not a lot of people know, Tri-State from Do-Rag Dynasty, but, man, that dude is just Tri-State, man. You're a good guy.
Hey, shout out Tri-State, bro. Everything he touched, bro, is just he unloaded the cannon. I got an album coming out with Recognize Ali that I produced. And, I do a little rapping on there, too, but we got Tri-State on there as well, man.
Boy,
cannons, man.
Oh, you just dropped an exclusive right here. Wow, I never knew you had an album coming out with Recognize Ali. Damn.
Sir,
I know you've been working because I noticed that 2020 that you were kind of quiet. Now I see what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah, take a little bit to make these classes, put them together, and but yeah, I definitely got the cannon for 2021. Man, gonna see a lot from me.
Now, even in 2020, you work with Illah Dayz. Now you guys released a project in 2020. Now, how did that come together?
Illah Dayz joint.
Yes,
yeah, that's my ball. That's Wisemen, you know what I'm saying? So,
we know it's Wisemen, but how did the talks for you doing a solo come about?
Yeah, I be posting these cats, man. Every day. Let's get in the lab. Come on, you should be on your second album now. You should be on your third album now. Let's go, bro. Let's show this call. So I finally got Illah to go on and finish his raps and get in the lab and give him another one because he had a real nice a reception from his first album, The Illustrator. And so I'm like, bro, come on, man. They're waiting for another one, bro. Let's go. And he has he got a pretty tough line to walk, man. As far as being, in the chair or whatever. So he has his tough days or whatever. So I know one thing that motivates him is actually getting his ass in the studio and getting them vocals down. And so, I pushed Illah, man, and I pushed him this summer, and he came through and put his effort and his work into that Kobe, man. And like I said, him on the rhymes, me on the beats. It's a great combo, and we made a few of the nice album of the year list with that joint. So
Yeah.
happy with it, bro.
See, sometimes like an artist would just need that certain push. It's because sometimes an artist would take that certain push for that album now too, and like I think like that's what like he really need. That's why it came out so good, and like you do that. Like I don't know if you did that with 60-Second Assassin for his Remarkable Timing album, like but like god damn, Bronze, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was like sometimes like I think that was a label album. I think RBC put that out, so. There's a difference when, like me and Illah did the album, we promoted it ourselves, we paid for the PR or whatever, we got the distribution ourselves. So that's different from like when I did like the 60-Sec album, I really don't have like any control over how they promote it, where they put it, how they push it. So it was dope to have the projects like Illah Dayz, where we're in full control from like Black Day, my label or whatever.
Yeah.
And we can guide the whole process because I think we feel like, we know where to put it a little better. But there's always, like, if a label does come along that can do it better than you or boost it more than you, then you head over to that label. So that's kind of how me and Illah Dayz came together. We put the album together. He's still a little early in his career, one album out only. So
hey, it's a good album, though.
No, it's great. He's got greatness, but his follow-up album. We didn't have a lot of labels looking at it, and the couple labels that did, they was like, no advance up front, this and the other. But we do music, from the heart, but we also don't do it for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like fuck that. We gonna have to go ahead and commandeer this ship, and we'll put it out on our label ourselves. So we did that, and. For that to result in us making it on a few album of the year lists, man, I would say it's a great success. A lot of people really like that album.
Yeah.
It's a big dedication to his cousin, Kobe, man.
Oh, so
long live Kobe. Long live Kobe, baby.
Long live man. I like even like with the picture, because I was wondering like what was like the cover meant, and he's like, well, so that must be his cousin on the cover.
Yep, that's young Kobe on the cover, man. His beloved nephew, actually, and lost him a few years ago. So that's big dedication to their closeness and their relationship. So called the album Kobe. Made that title track Kobe, and he gave you a real look at who Kobe was. So you can know him again. So we can experience people we lost through music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier. It's very rare to find. See, like coming into like your production now too, like you may not have produced like the original album, but you did the remix album, and kind of tend to lean to the remix more because it has more of that certain Wu sound that fits Ghostface's style. So
yes,
when you did the Bronze tape, like was that originally supposed to be you and Ghost besides him and Big Ghost in the beginning?
No, man, that was a project him and Big Ghost put together. I'm not really sure about the deal or whatever, but
yeah,
M80 helped with that project, and then as part of that promotional side to give it a real push, on the merch and give it another flip to it, because now it's all about making sure you got multiple streams of income from each project due to people don't buy music like they used to. So they came up with the idea to have a remix project to it, and they chose me. So, officially through Ghostface or whatever, always, but definitely was,
should have been the original. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Should have been the original. But maybe I'm biased, but
I appreciate that, man. That's love, man.
Hey, man, I gotta say it like it is, man. So, like, cause like the thing that I was really waiting, because I've been following your career like since I can remember, and I remember when you posted this on your Instagram, and like we still ain't got it. But hey, timing is everything. Man, you gotta, and I've been trying to talk to this brother for a long time, man, but not yet. But you got an album with Benny the Butcher.
Nope.
No, you don't?
Nah.
Oh, so you guys were gonna make one?
Yeah, we were gonna make one, man. I think, I really don't know what happened, bro. To be honest, you'll probably have to ask Benny.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry. That's in my notes.
Hey, no. I think that politics and business just, jumped in the mix or whatever, and it didn't happen. But I look forward to working with them guys sometime soon. Anyway, they definitely got all my respect in as far as the music game and what they've done. So, the forces will combine soon enough, God willing. You know what I mean?
I think that would have been perfect after Tanatark 3, like you.
Yeah. I got to be honest. He picked the beats and shit already, and the beats he picked. My God. So, yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens, man. Never know what the future holds, bro. But them guys, they up there, bro. So,
because everyone knows Griselda, they're big fans of the Wu.
So, yeah, they out here doing it how, everyone, we all admire it. You know what I mean? So, nothing but respect to them, and guys are aligned, and we'll see what happens, man. Either way, both camps, we all coming with greatness. So. You know what I'm saying?
So when are we getting a Bronze Nazareth when he's rapping? Like, because I understand that you were working on the album. If you're worried, then you should be. Is that still coming?
Yeah, that's coming.
All
that's
right.
coming. So, like, basically what's on the schedule now is tomorrow we're gonna put some. We're gonna put a little info out. I did an album with his brother Leaf Dog. Okay. He's with a group 4 hours from the UK. They big dudes, really big following and well respected out in Europe, and a lot of people here as well. So I did an album rapping over Leaf Dog's beats, who produces for 4 hours, whatever.
Okay.
So we got this shit coming. I think it's gonna be at the end of the month, January 29th. So I got that coming. That's gonna just warm it all up, and then we'll have the Rack Ali, and then we'll have the If You're Worried You Should Be. So those are the three for sure. That I'm looking like in 21. So they're pretty much all done. All baked.
Wow. Okay.
So very gonna be a productive year for me, and I'm hoping to do even more than that. Like I'm quarantine work, man. I'm in here writing, I'm in here recording. So should be a lot, bro.
So when you're making an album, there's obviously songs that don't make the album. Now, like the songs that don't make the album, like let's say for the Canibus or the Kxng Crooked one, do you take the time out of your day just to listen to those joints? Like, damn, this shit went on it, but I'm gonna just keep this one for myself.
Yeah, bro, I go visit it from time to time, bro. I pop open the Pro Tools or whatever, I have it on still, and yeah, I run through it, bro. It's a few jewels, and I'm like, man, I wish we could unveil this shit, but yeah, there's always work on the cutting room floor that doesn't make it out for one reason or another that you would love to put out, but gotta keep them in that vault, man. Gotta keep them in there. Gotta come to the studio to come hear that shit, man.
Hey, if I'm ever in the trip, I may hit you up and go, Browns, man. May I hear some unreleased joints, my G?
For sure, bro.
So, I got a couple more questions for you, Brian. I'll let you go because I understand you're a very busy man. We spoke about, this is actually spawned like right at the moment. We spoke about you hearing unreleased Wu Tang tracks that you never heard before to this day now. So now it made me wonder, man, because you were discovered by Cilvaringz, and when I think of Cilvaringz, I think of Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, the $1 million Wu Tang album. I'm sorry, but his solo album, I was fire, but every time I think of Cilvaringz, I think of that album. So what I was thinking is, do you think that some of the songs that you heard made it onto that $1 million album?
No, I don't think so, because I know that I remember how Cilvaringz put the album together. So he put that together with his own budget and money or whatever. So I didn't hear none of that. The one thing I did hear from Once Upon a Time in Shaolin is the beat that I have on there.
Oh, you have a beat on Once Upon. Oh, wow. That is.
Yep.
What's that feeling like?
I've only got the beat. I never heard I know who's on the song, but I never heard the lyrics. I never heard the song, but I know it's on there.
Now,
I know for sure it's on there.
Did you pay attention when that whole Martin Shkreli and all that was happening with the album?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And like, man, the thing that I laughed about the most is like when this guy made the video to Ghostface with his goons, and it's like, does he not know who Ghostface is? Right. It was comedy. It was,
all that theater, man. I mean, funny dude, man.
yeah.
I don't know if he's getting out of jail, but I need some royalties from that boy, man.
Yeah.
For my beat.
He's gonna be in jail for a while. He got caught off the phone trying to sell the album in jail.
Yeah, the beat I did is on that when he went live, when he went on YouTube or whatever and played them.
Or when he leaked some of it.
Yeah, he played one of them. He played the beat I had on there. So.
Oh wow.
It's out there, man.
Yeah.
See,
like that's like for you to be on an album that's like so like because like most artists would only dream of like having a work like worth that much now too, but we don't really know what it's worth now because the FBI has it. But like right now, nobody heard it, so like I can only imagine in the future, like when we're all gone, when this comes out, it's like, dude, like this was like that's why I want to talk and like see like what did you hear from it? But you have a beat on it. That's crazy.
Yeah, I got the beat on it, and then like you say, all the shit I heard was only that Martin Shkreli clip, man. That's all I heard of it, bro. Actually, I think Cilvaringz might have played me a couple tracks over the phone that I heard.
Damn.
When it was way back in the making or whatever. But yeah, like me and Ringz used to get on the phone daily and chat it up or whatever. So I'm more than sure I've heard a few of them joints. But as far as the final list, I don't know what's what. You know what I mean?
So when you're with Cilvaringz now too, when was like the first time you actually met him in person?
Okay, I met Ringz in, I believe it was 2002.
Okay.
Because I went to New York when he was recording that album,
yeah.
So I did a few beats on there, and I was there for the whole time they recorded. When everybody came in, they recorded a verse. Kxng came. This is where I met a lot of the people the first time, like Kxng. And, I was there when everybody came in to do their verse. We was in D&D studios for 2 weeks from 12 to 12. So we was in there, Premier would pop in, you know what I'm saying? Sat down and I had lunch with Premier once. But it was crazy being that young. I hadn't even signed to RZA yet. And they had me up in that bitch 2 weeks with Cilvaringz, helping out, in the studio, watching, learning, whatever. And I'm just in there like, wow. One day I got in the elevator and Foxy Brown was in the fucking elevator. Like, wow, that's crazy, dog. But, yeah, we did 2 weeks in D&D. And cranked the eye out, most of what it turned out to be. So that was really when I first met Cilvaringz. We were just online until then. And, we did the album in New York, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because when you said you were on the internet in 97, I remember there was dial-up back there. There wasn't none of this fast speed, none of the YouTube or any of this. So how the hell did you find the internet?
Yeah. It was so slow, but it was dope, man. We had like, it was for the group The Unknown, and we had, the website would come up, we had our little graphics up, and then they would play one beat of ours would play in the background. Oh. And that was catching everybody. It was catching everybody. And I think that's the one they called Ringz, so, you know what I mean? It was crazy, bro. I don't know how, but I got on that shit so early. We was actually, banging albums. Like, that shit really got me, like, through college type of shit. Like, banging The Unknown albums. And then I started selling, like, just singles like Blowgun, the one that got me, that RZA heard, they signed me. I started selling them, shipping them out, you know what I mean? And so, just went on from there.
I like how you put that Blowgun on your Bandcamp page, so like when people actually do the research, they can go back and like, this one really showed RZA.
Young Bronze, man, Young Bronze, bro.
Yeah. Man, how old were you when you made that?
Shit, I was 19.
You were 19 when you made that? Wow.
When I made that. My voice all high pitched on that bitch still. Yeah. Funny, man. Funny.
So, like, do you go back and listen to a lot of your old music when you were like 19, 20, and ever redid it as Bronze Nazareth?
I thought about it, man. I really thought about it a few times. I almost redid Blowgun, and I almost did this song called Sinua's Impasse that I had, like, way back. Just because I didn't like my voice on it no more, and I'm like, sometimes I listen to old songs like, bro, like, why did I flow like that? Like, why didn't I say this word over here? Like, what? You know what I mean? But, at the time it was on, but, yeah, I always go listen to my old shit like, dog, I should have fixed this. I should have fixed that line, or I should have said that back. But then that gets you into thinking like, yo, maybe if I re-record it. But I think I have a couple times, and you get in the booth and you re-record it, and then it's like, it just ain't the same as the original. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't have that raw hunger that was there at the time. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, let me leave it alone.
So even like with like you even thinking about that now too. Like I like how like sequel albums, like only certain artists should do sequel albums. Now my only complaint about Only Built for Cuban Links too is there's no Bronze Nazareth beats on there. Like what the hell? Like Butter Knife should have been on that beat. Like I was so mad when I didn't see no Bronze Nazareth, but when I seen your name on Shaolin versus the Wu Tang on Butter Knives, I was like, oh okay, now we're talking. So when you get an opportunity to produce for like a Raekwon, did you know like man, I gotta come with that after Only Built for Cuban Links, or did you make that beat for him during that time?
You know what? I got thousands of beats, like just laying up, bro. I got thousands because I'm much more slower paced than I used to be. But back then, I used to 4 or 5 beats a day. If I'm not doing nothing, 6, 7 beats. And I think I had one time where I was in school and everybody went home for spring break, and I stayed in the dorm. I was like, fuck it, I'm making beats all week. And I made like 200 beats in like 1 week, you know what I mean? So, so I have a set of beats or whatever. Sometimes I'll cater right to the artist and make the sound or whatever, but usually I got like a whole folder of like, yo, boom, boom, boom. Let me go through these 50 beats and pick 10 for Ray. I think he'll sound good on. So I usually go through it like that. And then, I don't know, it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So I think the best way is to just face to face. You know what I mean? I know it's hard nowadays, but when I can get in there face to face, play you the beat, hear it on the big speakers, explain a little bit to you or whatever, then I can get, I can rope, them into the beat, the feel a little more. But, either way, however it come out. Well, I think I just sent Ray a bunch of beats from, my collection, and he found that one like, yo, this is crazy. This is it. And so we did the shit, and that shit came out fire, man.
I even know where to place that song in the sequence for Only Built for Cuban Links. That's how good it was. Right between 10 and 10 century.
Yeah, that shit, man, he roasted that shit, man. The video was fire too, so.
Yeah, oh yeah, there is a video for that. I forgot about that.
Yep, it's the kid running through the projects. You know what I mean? Shit's fire.
So you're an artist who worked with a lot of legendary artists, some artists that you knew you were going to work with before you even met them, and that's very inspirational. What's the motivation and inspiration that keeps you going? Because you can easily be like, I don't have to do this, but you do it because it's your purpose, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's my passion, man, and it's like, the thing about having a goal, like I said, when I wanted to do one song with a Wu Cat, I did that, and when I was done with that, I was like, okay, now what? Now I want more. So I've always been that type of person. Like, if you tell me, like, yo, you gotta run 10 hills, I'm like, okay, boom, I ran 10 hills. Now what? Let's go. What's next? You know what I mean? I've always been a goal-oriented type of person. So once I got in, it was like, okay, now I want more. So I feel like, everything I've done, man, I feel like, of course, I feel like I've made it. I feel like I'm blessed to be in this position. I'm blessed to, like, I haven't had a 9 to 5 since 2007, bro. Oh, wow. So I'm blessed to, I'm one of the dudes, and a lot of dudes say they live off music, but they don't. I'm one of the dudes that I subsist off of my music and my hustle. I also do stuff like, stocks. I have a little warehouse where I do some growing or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not all music. Of course, my wife works as well. So, but for me, it's the goals, man. Like, once I reach a goal, I don't know if you call it I'm bored with it, or maybe it's just because it's achieved. I want to go to the next goal. I always want to, step it up a notch, go further, go deeper. So in that, that makes me, like, if I say, yo, I got 3 solo albums out and they all went well, they all had critical success. To that, I'm like, okay, well, why not have a 4th? Then why not do a 5th? You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm a motivated person. I don't know. Like I say, music is my passion, and the fire just stay lit. You know what I'm saying? To create. You know what I mean? So the inspiration is life, bro. Life. it keeps turning. I want to keep reporting about it. I want to keep making you feel it. You know what I mean? So that's it.
One thing I liked about you is that you weren't one of those rappers like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna retire. I want to keep going with the goals like fourth and fifth, like what you just said. So
Yeah.
has the thought, because like you've been around for a long time, and I'm pretty sure there's stories that you haven't even told that you would want the people to hear. So has the thought of like a Bronze Nazareth documentary or like even a book come to mind?
Absolutely, man. I'm working on a book actually, with a journalist, and he's dissecting my lyrics. So
Oh wow,
he's
okay.
he's taking some of his craziest verses that he's read, and he's going real deep into it. He's breaking down some of the little nuances. Like I got crazy double entendres and shit. I got a lot of them. I put them all over. A lot of people don't catch them, or they might not even know like what I'm referencing or whatever. So he's going through. He's breaking a whole ton of verses down. So we're in the midst of that. And I've been working with this company. They do boxing novels and documentaries, and I think I'm gonna start doing some music on some of their promos and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I think I've been discussing with an author about doing a kind of a biography book just to tell the story behind all this shit. Because man, it's like our story, just me and the Wisemen. It's crazy,
There's
man.
so
Like
much behind it too.
from just making a record deal, man. Like back then, you know how it is. You get a record deal, like to get that, then to get the crew on, and then like everything that happened with the crew, like from losing Kev, the Salute getting the 10 to 20 year bid, you know, everything that happened with Philly. You know, I want to tell that whole story. Like June got shot. You know what I mean? I thought he was dead. They killed his cousin. Like the story is just crazy, bro. So throughout all this shit, we all just been huddling together and still, you know, and chugging along. But the story is it's definitely make an interesting book. So I wanna work on getting that out here. So I'm in the beginning stages of trying to figure out how to flesh all that out and tell the story properly and get it written down properly and edited. And I got a publishing company I've been fucking with too, so I think they'd be interested in moving on to it. So definitely got some books coming, and I think that'll just add to the empire, man, that I'm trying to build and continue to build.
For the journalist that's dissecting your lyrics, I think I know of him. I think he even did an interview with him before. Is his name Sunny's?
Nah, his name I call him Pete. But he's from Austin or whatever, and he's been a fan of our stuff for a long time, and he's big time like into the lyrics, and just his way of writing and the way he thinks about it is kind of on point for the way that he was breaking down me and Kev's stuff. So I don't want to reveal too much about his book or nothing yet, because he's definitely gonna get into it, and you're gonna know his name. And I think the book is gonna open a lot of people up to the level and the deepness that me and my guys have been writing on. Because I think sometimes on the track when we breezing through it, it kind of float over people's heads here and there. I know people get it, people catch it, but like some of our shit, you break it down and it's like, wow, that's what the fuck you meant. That's what you were saying. You know what I mean? So it's just like real writing, you know what I mean? So to get the book out, that'd be dope, where you can see it clearly, you know what I mean?
And it gives like more appreciation for the art now too when you actually go and read something where it breaks down the lyrics, and a perfect example is damn, I forget the book, Decoded by Jay-Z. Like there's stuff in there that I never knew that he was talking about within his lyrics until you go read this book.
Yeah, well that's what kind of inspired a lot of these new guys to come out with their books, because you know it's a lot of books coming out early that people are talking about the story, and I think everybody's got a story, and I do think that Wisemen and Bronze, we got a story to tell. They keep a lot of eyebrows up, man.
Oh yeah,
shit that happened, the funny stories, just like some of the epic moments. Like we did a show in Royal Oak, me and the Wisemen. It was opening up. We were the direct support for Wu Tang, so we do the show. We killed it. Had the crowd going crazy. Right after I set, before they was even supposed to go on, Method Man comes out, takes the mic from somebody, and he starts telling the whole crowd, say, Wisemen!
Oh,
had the whole crowd saying that shit. And we was like, Method doing that shit? What? So that was just, I want to tell those tales, man. And I'm a big fan of, like, books, autobiography.
Yeah.
Like, Jay, you know, I've read, I love musicians' autobiographies to hear their journey on the road. I just finished reading Keith Richards' book.
Okay.
Crazy, man. The guitars, yeah, crazy. So it's dope how a lot of these music stories are the same, and people get to the same points, same breaking points, and I wanna put mine out there. You know what I mean? So that's coming. That's coming, bro.
Yeah, because when I seen you got do it, I'm like, okay, well, we didn't get no Nine Prince book, we didn't get no Cilvaringz book. I'm like, man, I'm trying to think who else has an interesting story from the Wu Tang, and I was like, Brown's Nazareth.
Yeah, we got a story to tell, boy. Woo.
Okay, woo, I can't wait for that book.
What's that?
I said I can't wait for that book. Woo.
Oh man, Detroit, boy, Detroit.
And like,
yeah.
So when I listen to interviews, like even if it was like the 10 seconds of inspiration, I would still take that one clip and like replay it over and over. So how I like to close out my show is that there could be a very big Bronze Nazareth fan or a very big Wiseman fan out there who like needs to hear that little bit of an inspiration from the hero. So with that being said, do you have any words for somebody in a dark place trying to see the light?
Yeah, bro. Let me shout out this guy who's been a big fan of us, big supporter online. I never met him. I don't know him. His name is Brian Wright. I think he's been going through a lot, and I think right now he's struggling with cancer. So I've been checking on dude, and I want to give dude a shout out now. Be right, bro. Keep that fight up, my guy. Keep it strong, man. And we're gonna get through this shit, man. So shout out to Be Right, and I also want to give a big, huge shout out just to my mom and pops, man. The holidays is kind of tough. This is around the time we lost Kev, so I just want to give them a little boost of strength. Something they can hear, man, from the sun. So that's two people I boost up right there, and got a lot of love for him, man.
Man, he's really good. I appreciate it, man. Shout out to Be Right, man. I hope you make it through, my guy, man. You're gonna beat that cancer's ass, no problem.
Beat that shit. Beat it.
So, before I let you go, Bronze, man, I used to listen to you for years, man. So for after us to have to sit down and have a conversation, no, thank you, my brother. Thank you. Anything you'd like to plug in before I let you go?
Yeah, let me go ahead and plug this motherfucking Leaf Dog Bronze Nazareth album. Leaf on the beats, Bronze on the rhymes. Got the Wisemen on there, Rec Ali, few surprises. So, yo, go check that shit. We got 5 videos coming for it. That shit come out January 29th. That's going to start off the whole fucking Bronze Run, Black Day shit. So, we doing that. Leaf Dog, Bronze Nazareth, January 29th. That good old rugged shit, Gun Rule, Detroit, Motown, Bronze Man on the bars, man. Appreciate you, Lo.
Appreciate you, Bronze, man. Without the season finale, man, you're at season 9, beginning, man. Man, I always had to have somebody from Detroit, man. I'm just glad it's with a legend like you, Bronze. So, man, we're going to support everything that you do. We've been supporting, but we're going to support even more now, too. So, whatever we can do, you just let us know. We'll make it happen, my brother. You stay safe out there. One love.
Thank you, brother. One love, man. Peace.
Peace.